Lalla is me. That every time I said Lalla, she calls herself in her poetry. Lalla means my name, your name. And I want you to adopt this name, Lalla, like Allah, the divine. This and that, all there is, Lalla. And also every time in this tantric poetry, every time the poet says you, I want you to receive the poetry as it is directed at you, you personally, you that are listening to this poetry. I am talking to you, you, the one that is listening, is not generalized. So receive it. You, it's for you, it's directed at you. And you are Shiva. When she speaks of you, Shiva, it speaks of you right now here listening, because you are Shiva. So receive the poetry in this way. So I'm gonna read you many poems of her, one after the other, in flow. And receive them like the Holy Sutra, like I spoke on Wednesday. It's traditional to sing the teaching. Lalla sang the teaching. She was a poet and a musician and a dancer in that moment. And these are all activities that cannot be repeated without the artist herself. And this expresses how reality cannot be understood without the human component. So in the way we express this teaching, we teach that the human component is essential to understand the philosophy. Enlightenment absorbs this universe of qualities. And when the merging occurs, there is nothing but her. This is the only doctrine. There is no word for it, no mind to understand it with, no category of transcendence or non-transcendence, no vow of silence, no mystical attitude. There is no Shiva and no Shakti in enlightenment. And if there is something that remains, that whatever it is the only teaching. I pestered my heart in love's mortar, roasted and ate it up. I kept my cool, but you can bet I wasn't sure whether I'd love or die. Meditate on your breath and live there. The experience of God is continuous amazement. If you live on the breath, you won't be tortured by anger and thirst or the longing to touch. The purpose of being born is fulfilled in the state between I am and death. In the state in between I am and that. Those who glow with the light of the self are freed from life even while they live. So you see here Lalla speak about the breath like love. If you live on the breath, you won't be tortured by anger and thirst or the longing to touch. Is the fulfillment we were speaking before. When we are in love, we are fulfilled. And so she calls the breath love. My guru gave me only one advice. He said, from outside, transfer the attention within. Live in the soul. And that became my initiation. And so it was that I began to wander naked. Dance, Lalla, dance with nothing on but air. Sing, Lalla, sing where in the sky. Look at this glowing day. What clothes could be so beautiful or more sacred than this naked body? Dance, Lalla, dance, Lalla. Let your body wear your knowing. Let your heart sing songs. Lalla has become a syllable of soul light. There is no death. Let your worship song be silence. You are sky and earth, day, wind, breath, night. You are grain, sandal paste, flour, water, substance of my offering. Oh Shiva, you are all. How can I offer you anything when you are everything? So Lalla also became really famous because she was the first that started to take on the priests and the Brahmin and the structural way of worshipping the divine. As a feminine wisdom teacher, she could see that the teacher of the temple were too linear and too stuck to the linearity of the teaching, and they were missing the point. They were losing the erotic wisdom. And so she deliberately attacked them, which is quite powerful because no other spiritual teacher has never done, and even she was a woman. So this poetry reflects this because, you know, the earth and the sandal paste and the flower and the water were all the offering that were done in the temple in a linear way by the priests. And so she called among this absurdity that we have to make offerings to God when God is already everything. And so I'm going to read this piece of poetry for you again. And I want you to receive it as Shiva. You are Shiva. And also when I read this, sometimes I also ponder about the absurdity of me even offering you teachings when you actually have it all already inside of you. So receive that too from me as this person here, recognizing the totality of your being. You are sky and earth and day, wind, breath, night. You are grain, sandal paste, flowers, water, substance of my offering. Oh Shiva, you are all. How can I offer you anything when you are everything? And in this next poetry, you can see that she also attacked the fixed gesture of the priest in the temple, the codified gesture. And she brings her whole life as the ritual of love, as the offering to the divine. When you understand this, everything you do is the prayer, is the offering, is the ritualized action. So here it is. Lalla says, whatever my hands did was worship. Whatever my tongue shaped was prayer. That was Shiva's secret teaching. I wore it, and it became my skin. Unconscious people read the scriptures like parrots saying Ram, 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 Ram in their cages. It's all pretend knowledge. Read, rather, with me. Every living moment as prophecy. When the scriptures melt away, the chants remain. When the chants melt away, the mind remains. When the mind melts away, who's left? Void, mingling with void. That's how the moon melted and nectar rained on me. And void mingled with the void. I traversed the field of void alone. And when I lost consciousness of myself, I, Lalla, found the secret of the self. Then the lotus bloomed in the mud for Lalla. When I lost consciousness of myself, I, Lalla, found the secret of the self. And then the lotus bloomed in the mud for Lalla. Lalla, 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 Lalla. I consumed myself looking for myself. I lost myself in myself and found a wine cellar. Nectar, I tell you, nectar. There were jars and jars of the good stuff inside myself, and no one to drink. Wrapped up in yourself, you hid from me. All day I looked for you, and when I found you hiding inside me, I ran wild, playing now me, now you. Shiva. All is Shiva. Shiva lives in my heart. If I adore him, I reflect him. I was passionate, filled with longing. I searched far and wide. But the day that the truth found me, Lalla, I was at home. Neither you nor I, neither object nor meditation, just the all-creator, lost in his dreams. Some don't get it, but those who do are carried away on the waves of Shiva. This body that you're fasting over, this body that you're doling up, this body that you're wearing to the party, this body will end as ash. Be living, yet dead. Then knowing will come to live in you. Whatever is your name, goddess, God, Shakti, Shiva, Allah, Buddha, Great Spirit, I am sick. This world is my disease. And you are the cure. Yes, you. And mentally you can offer sandalwood, flowers, water, incense. Self-offering, self, to self, for self, by self, with self. And don't take it too seriously. Have fun with the teaching. Let them bring you joy in your life.